You can break it. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, this is TPNT, where we spotlight entrepreneurs, independent artists, and everyday people. Yeah, that's you. All right, today we have a special guest by way of Sir Trey Daniels. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
It's amazing. I'm so excited to have you. Are you excited to be here?
I'm excited. I've
All
been
right,
waiting. I'm here.
You've been waiting. What you been waiting on?
let
I've
us
been waiting to get
know.
here. I've been waiting to get here.
Right. I love it. Listen, here at TTNT, I've already said it, but we spotlight independent artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people. And you are, and you fit a few of those categories, sir. You fit a few. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clap it up for our co-host. We have Titus Glenn, award-winning writer Titus Glenn. Yes, sir. And we have the CEO of Winking Owl Productions, Takara Hyde. And the one and only Madam Secretary. Hello. Trey, go ahead and get your praise on. You have Trey Daniels.
Hallelujah.
All right. We had to start the whole day off right. I'm going to give it over to Titus Glenn. Today we don't have a game because we have something special at the end. Go ahead, Titus. Titus.
Tacitus. Oh, okay. Well, Travion, thank you, man, for just being with us, rocking with us today. It's an honor to have you on the show. We don't take any guests for granted because you guys can be doing a plethora of other things. So we're just gonna dig in, man. I think I've met you at Chris Wesley's event.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's just dive in. Like, tell us about you. Like, where are you from?
All right. Well, I'm Trey Daniel, of course. Y'all can call me Trey. I'm from a small town called Forney, Texas. It's about 30 minutes out of Dallas. Pretty much if you hit like, what's that, 20? So I've been at Antioch where Pastor Chris Wesley is. I've been there about my whole life actually. And I've been a worship leader there for about going on 3 years now. And so I'm just glad to be here, glad to be a part. I'm ready to talk about anything.
Talk about let's get it. I'm at Forney. My great grandmother lives in Forney, and Forney is small. Is it off of 40 or 20? 45 or 20?
Off of 20. So if you take 20, it's really 80. If you take 80, you'll get like you'll pass through Mesquite and everything. So if you take 20, you'll come through Dallas.
Sigleville.
It's
Sigleville.
Okay.
Sigleville.
I've heard of Forney before. Maybe she lives over there somewhere. It's like a small.
Yeah, like Terrell. Terrell is like right next to Forney. Everybody goes there for like Buc-ee's and stuff.
Got you. So tell me, what got you into singing?
Well, my mom would tell it. Let's see, what got me into singing? I wasn't forced. So let's see. My mom tells it I was about 2 years old, and around that time, I think Donnie McClurkin came out with "We Fall Down," and I'll just be in the backseat. We fall down, and I just keep singing that song. And I was like 2, and they were like on a road trip, going somewhere. And she just said I kept singing "We Fall Down," and she was like, after then, she couldn't stop me from singing. So I've just been singing ever since then.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So is Donnie McClurkin like your favorite artist?
He's one of them. I love Donnie McClurkin's writing. His writing is it's different. It actually pushes me to stay to myself, like be true to who I am.
Are you so? What's your favorite Donnie McClurkin song?
My favorite one. He has a song that he came out with a couple years ago. It's called "I Need You." "I Need You" is it's just a very good song. But before that, it was probably "We Fall Down" or "Stand." It was probably one of those. But "I Need You" is probably one of my favorites. Is.
Okay, that's what's up. So if you had to work with any artist, who would that artist be?
Oh, Sorry about that. Any artists now? Let's see who I work with. Let's see.
Besides Chris Wesley, we know where your homie.
You know, my pastor. I would probably work with. I really like. I mean, I'm a Dorinda Clark Cole fan, Kimberell. So it's just one of those. One of those two is really who I'm gonna say for that. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
That's what's up. Well, I'm gonna relinquish my stance and let one of our co-hosts chime in. Takara, why don't you take it over?
Hi, so good to
How's
see
it going?
you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Titus because you said something about Apparel. You said something about Dorinda Clark. What is so special about those two artists that separates you from what you were talking about a few minutes ago, Dorinda Clark and those? What separates you from that?
What separates me from them? I'm a stickler for just being who you are. Not saying they aren't who they are or they
Right.
straight away, but I'm a very just authentic person. I think I am where you're gonna get what you get. You know, you kind of I am who I am. I'm the same person Sunday to Sunday. I really believe that where God leads people is where He leads them, and what God has for everyone is for them. So that's where I believe in that.
I asked that question because I know as a writer, as a songwriter, me and Titus and Madam Secretary, we kind of attach ourselves to songs that we write. And so sometimes, you know, as a vocalist, we can attach ourselves or see ourselves in other artists. Is that some of the purposes why you picked some of those artists like Dorinda Clark Cole? Can you see yourself in some of her music? Kimberell, same thing. For me, I would go throw myself under the bus. For me, my artist is Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Like I see myself in them. So it's not necessarily gospel all the time. You know, if I had to pick a gospel artist, it'd probably be Aretha Franklin, Mahalia Jackson. So, you know, because I love their life story, their patterns and stuff like that. I kind of identify with. Can you say the same thing about yourself and some of the artists that you listen to?
I can. I really can. So artists that I listen to a lot. Well, right now, let's see. Jabari Johnson just came out with a project like the other day. I like Jabari and his writing, but some artists that I listen to on the daily, of course, Donnie McClurkin, my mentor Stephen Warren, Melvin Crispell. I love Melvin Crispell, but I just get mad when people be like, "Oh, you sound like Little Melvin." I'm like, no, let's just comparison kills, and I won't be that.
But you do have but you have his range.
Oh
no.
wow!
You do have a skill set that he has, so I wouldn't downplay.
Oh wow! And I
But
love him.
I take that because it would be some people at my church though that would say I sound like Fred Hammond, and I was like, you know what? We're not gonna do that.
Fred don't have your range.
Like I felt it's like you know how you be in church and you sing one song from a person, they say, "Ooh, you sound like them," and I was like, "No, that's not what that was." They gave me the song and I sang it, but to the people that I listen to, it's like a wide spectrum of people, like gospel from like the 70s to gospel in like the 2020s. Like I just like to. So I would say yes to your question.
That's good. That's good. That's good to have a variety of song choices to pick from and artists to learn from because everybody's journey in gospel is different. So that leads me to my next and last question, and I'm going to turn it over to beautiful Madam Secretary. What do you want people to know about your life journey in gospel music or in music in general?
What people learn about me is that I've overcome a lot of things, and I'm a big spokesperson for like I'm like a stress-free type of person. Like take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. Like I'm a big person that's just like not stressing yourself out over things because I've overcome a lot of things like where anxiety, depression. Like I just want everybody to know that it's okay to be bold and say you're an overcomer. Like that's where I'm at.
That's good. Thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed the session today. I want to turn it over to Madam Secretary.
Okay.
All right. Trey, because listen, I am proud of you. I want you to do something for me though, because I'm a person of like, bring your camera down just a little bit. Okay. Because we're gonna get intimate. I want those people to know. There you go. I want them to know
you see me?
Like they know you. Come down just a little bit. Come down just a little bit more.
Right
there.
there.
Right there. Leave right there.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna speak for my Facebook family, and I'm gonna juice it up just a little bit. Okay. I ask this question every show. Okay. So you already told us kind of where you started, and you weren't forced to do it. I want to know the first time, and let me give a little backstory. Okay. So I asked this question because I wasn't forced either to sing. Well, I lied. I was kind of forced, but I was forced in a way just like you, where you weren't forced, but I was singing Kurt Franklin, Silver and Gold in the kitchen, and I kept singing it, and I was playing, and they were cooking, my mom and my aunt, and she was like, and so then I was forced because that Sunday she asked me, I was unprepared. She was like, go up there and sing, and I was like, mm-mm. And she was like, we'll give you $5. So I went up. They're holding the $5 in the seat. You know how your mama come up to the front row and be like, you know what I'm saying, where nobody can see what they're holding. She's holding $5, and I told her I gotta go pee. She thought I was trying to get out of singing, but I really had to go pee. So she was like, sing. I sung the song, and as I'm singing, pee is rolling down my and she was like, and back in the day, I had a dress on, stockings, the little frilly socks. Like it was no getting out of this easy. And so that's kind of how I was forced. And that's why I asked, what was that first time that you were actually up on the stage? Because that's a different type of monster than singing, just randomly.
Oh, okay. So where my mom is from, it's a city in East Texas called Scottsville. And it's a small town. The population is like 247 people, right? And so they have this thing every year. It's called the Scottsville Community, whatever, right? I don't know what it's called now. They haven't had it in years. But on Sundays, they have a service outside under the big tent, right? And so my grandmother's sister, she usually sings, but she gotten older and they asked me to sing. So I was probably like 10, maybe 10, 11. And so I got up there and they said, Trey, what are you gonna sing? And I said, what a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Mm-hmm. All I said, but I was gonna sing, what a friend we have in Jesus. The hymn, right? And so I get up there, I'm confident, but I'm nervous. I've always been nervous. So I say, what a friend we have in Jesus, over the hills and everywhere. And my mom, babe, she's like, baby, no.
They can't even help them.
I just about cried. I was sitting there like, well, and they just scooted me on over, and she got up and sang. I mean, she sang too. Keep in mind, a 70-year-old woman blowing. I'm like, I was just embarrassed. And to this day, they still remember that. And I was like, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
You could have just remixed it then.
Right, why they got it
on the man? Yeah.
But I was in there because as a kid, how as a kid you think through the lyrics. So I was like, what a friend we have in Jesus. I had to think, what's the next word? Oh, over the hills and vibrato was up. Let me tell you, it was up. So it was rough.
Oh, they politely moved you aside. Okay, well.
Yeah. Next.
Okay. Your next question will actually not be a question. I'm gonna give you a word, and I want you to sing with this word, either in the lyrics or in the title. This is called Famous TNT Off the Dome. Okay. And look at Takara looking so nice. She looks so happy, doesn't she? She will always be there to help if you need to phone a friend. Okay. All right. Your first word is big.
My God is big, so strong and mighty, and his plans for me
What?
is victory, victory, victory.
Yay. Yes, sir. And I put that in there. I was hoping you was gonna say that. There's so many blessed songs. I was so glad you did that one. Okay, so your next word is Jesus.
Oh, they just sang this. Nobody but Jesus. Oh, nobody but Jesus. Because he is the one. Yeah, they just sang that today. Look,
Yeah,
they sang that today.
You better represent for West Side. I'm sorry, it's not West Side. That
Wrong.
Antioch. Chris don't invite me.
Antioch.
Antioch.
Oh my goodness. And you know, Pastor Chris.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Chris been on the show a few times.
When you need it. Wait a minute. What's that? Wah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it to myself. Listen,
what's the drums to the time? You know?
All right, let's clean our palates and keep it moving. Your next word is keep.
Keep. Keep. Can I phone a friend? Keep.
You better, because you was out of 10 seconds. Go ahead and phone a friend.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You keep on blessing me. Something.
She making that up. Hold on, both of y'all get a buzzer.
He's a keeper. Yes, he is.
Oh, he's a keeper. Yeah.
To be kept. No, that's not keep. He'll keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind on him.
Titus, guess what?
He'll keep you in perfect peace.
Y'all listen. Yes, he will.
I got it. Though. He's keeping me alive. He's keeping me alive. Boom, boom.
Yes,
boom,
he
boom.
is.
See
But
that?
He is the keeper of my soul.
Oh, that's
y'all working on 25 seconds.
Good.
10 seconds. Y'all working on 25. All right, let's just keep on going. Trey, sorry you phoned a friend and you did not get that point. Let's move along. Your next word is love.
Love, a word that comes and goes, but few people really know what it means to really love somebody. Love. Yeah, so I just
You was gonna, that's all you gonna give us. You ain't gonna give us no more.
I wish I could go down like that.
I was gonna pull a country move again. There's gonna be some wrong words.
So you're teaching music classes, but you're going ahead and saying that you're gonna start teaching a music class. Is that correct?
Just
teach you. I just want you to run 1-on-1. That's it. Just stay in your lane. Teach 1-on-1 or run 1-on-1. Okay.
Okay. I'll do it.
Okay.
I pay to be a part of that class.
Me too. Listen, your next word is there.
There. There. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a song. Okay.
Sing it.
What's that song? We thank you, God, for being there.
MDM voices.
Need you most. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Love that song.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There.
Yes.
Give me some, and then use this mic. Unmute your mic, Titus. Unmute your mic. He's trying to get him a piece of the end of the song. Go ahead, get your song.
I got it in.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was getting ready to shift. I didn't want to shift into, the king was rising up, and I didn't want to shift. You are there.
No.
Yes, sir.
You starting too now.
You gotta bring it back up. That's good. You gotta bring it back up.
I'm good.
Yes.
Y'all having too much fun on Off
We
the
had
Dome.
enough last Wednesday, Titus. Thank you very much.
Listen, and a clip to show it. A clip to show it. We have another word for you, Trey. It's joy. And it doesn't have to be gospel. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, yes. Joy. Oh, well. There's so many joy songs. Let's see.
Whatever you want to do.
I was trying to see what she was singing at the bottom. Well, you know.
We'll let her sing it after your joy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna keep it simple. Joy, joy, God's great joy. That's all the gospel. It's just joy, joy down in my soul. Yeah. Sweet, beautiful, soul saving joy. Oh, joy, joy in my soul.
Come on.
That's the words. Yeah.
He was born and bred out of Antioch. I got it right.
You did it.
You've been marinating on that name for the last 10 minutes.
I just want to know how we got from Antioch to West Side. How we get to West Side?
Antioch West Side.
No. Let me tell you. Let me see how I got it. Because I was writing down the words that we needed you to sing, and I put West in there, and I read it, and then I talked to you. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Okay. You listen, sir. I want you to do one song of your choosing, but the goal is to run the whole song. Okay. So give me a snippet. I need you to run the entire snip. You ready? Whatever you have in your heart. Go ahead.
Let's see. Run the whole thing.
Come on, you got it. You got it. Come on, instructor.
Oh my gosh, song about the dome would be so crazy. What's the song?
Do blessed. Everybody say blessed. Go ahead. Just do the we're blessed in the city. Run that.
We're blessed in the city. We're blessed in the field.
You gotta run it.
We're blessed when we come and when we go. We hope.
Tear down.
Yeah, don't give me that one. See, I listen words so fast.
Okay, we cast down every stronghold.
Okay, let's do a slow one. You think you can run a slow one?
Do yes.
Do yes.
Do yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Come on, then. Come on, walk
with all them perfect ones, who can say no?
Yes. Okay, let's try. You ready? Me, you gonna try. We in class. Y'all ready?
Oh, you try.
Yes. That's all I got. Oh, that's all I got.
You gotta do the last one.
Come on, I'm going to trade. I'm going to your school, man. Dakara, go ahead. Take a lesson from his school. Go ahead. Dakara, go ahead.
Oh gosh. Yes. Did I pass? Did I get a
all right, come on. Did we pass?
You passed.
Okay, Titus, go ahead and run.
And I say, yes.
I can't stand him.
I say, yes, 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 yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
He didn't go to your school. He did not go to your school.
Yeah.
He didn't show up to class.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's not fair. You
That's when the student try to outrun the teacher. That's when the student try to outrun the teacher.
That's not
He
fair.
gave us too much, and you all the way out here.
He might be already teaching at the school. How he might be already here.
That's alumni that snuck back in. Oh my goodness, Trey, you are amazing, sir. I will go into this question. You talked about coming from a lineage. You talked about your grandmother, your great aunt, and your mother. Tell me about that stock. What was it growing up around people that were? What was that dynamic like?
Let's see. My mom. I have a very, very big family. My mom is the youngest of 10, and look, and they all are 2 years apart, except for the last 3. They are roughly like, it's a lot of.
When did your grandparents start?
1950. So they were really, the Bible says they knew each other. They knew each other.
Oh, all right.
They knew each other.
Goodness gracious.
Y'all didn't pick it up on the way home.
We know what you meant, Doc.
10 kids, 10 years apart.
Yes.
He put a ring on it. Yes, he did.
Yeah, my mom. See, my mom is. She'll be in her late 40s this year. My oldest aunt is like 71 or 72, something like that. But I come from a very big family. They're very a loving family, but yet a hardworking disciplinarian family.
Mm-hmm.
For the standpoint of in everything that we're gonna do it in excellence. We're gonna do it right. And of course, first and foremost, my grandfather implemented, and of course my mom, and then she implemented in me a foundation of faith. Very a home that was built with love and God, really. Mm-hmm. But it was very, very cool. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed growing up. It wasn't I didn't have a Joe Jackson. They didn't make me do nothing. It was just very loving. God. It was very, yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have one brother.
Okay.
We're the same age.
Okay. Is he in the arts? No. We're gonna keep it moving.
Boy, it was coming. Someone, did you see the pause though? He said, should I mention it? Should I mention him? Oh, yes, I do.
It could be a twin. Titus' mom is a twin.
I was saying, is it a twin?
Don't let us clean it up. Okay.
No, we're the same age though, but we're night and day. Like I do music and the arts. He's more on the athletic side of things. He does like
you said athletics. I thought you were gonna say drugs. Okay.
My brother did drugs.
No, like dealer. It's okay. I'm glad.
Okay.
You catch that on the way home.
I did. I'm here. I'm back. Okay. But yeah, we're night and day. But I do have a brother though.
Okay, cool. So
we're gonna hop into let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back and
Titus just cut it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it back over to my co-host Titus Glenn for a.
I thought you were saying that. I was
gonna ask him. So when we come back, I want to ask you a question about being under Chris Wesley and his group because they just had a single that just came out. So
yeah.
Speaking of Pastor Chris Wesley, we're gonna go ahead and get into his single "Till It's Good." Here we go.
Romans 8 says all things work together for the good. That means if your situation's not good, it ain't over. UDP, talk to me. Have you ever been there when people ask how you're doing, you say, but people that call themselves your friends are nowhere to be found when you need them. It's one thing after another. It's like your whole world is turning upside down. You ever been there? If so, we came to encourage you. You need to tell them you can make it. If you just hold on. Tell them why. So we came to tell you, listen, so don't you give up. All you gotta do is hold on. Here's why. Word of encouragement for you. And there's no way to avoid storms and troubles in this life. The next time it happens, we got some advice for you. Trust his word. Look to Jesus. And remember, your help is coming from him. Come on. For every problem, he's already made a way. No matter how bad you feel, make this declaration with the sing. It's working for me. Right now, it's working. Whether you want to believe it or not, your pain is working. Because God is going to use it and turn it around until it's good. See, it's working. By faith, I believe it's working. And every down is working, yeah. And he won't stop working it out for me. It's working. The ups and downs are working. For the good of them who love the Lord. Let's go, y'all. And he won't stop working it out for me. Hey, till it's good. Till it's good. 'Cause all things work together for good. So even right now it's working out for you. So be not dismayed.
Chris, we are truly proud of you. That listen, it's not over until it's good. All right, we are back. We are back. Mr. Trey Daniels, how is it working under Chris Wesley in his direction of music?
It's awesome. It's really nice to have a
Sir, you
a
have to
pastor
do better
who
about these delays.
is it delaying?
No,
It's
go
not
ahead.
delayed. Titus just messing with you.
Oh, well, it's going. It's awesome to have a pastor that not only is spirit driven but also has an incredible gift in music. And being at Antioch and being able to worship with everyone is awesome. Also because sometimes when we sing, sometimes I just want to give Pastor the mic and I'm like, hey, come sing. And it'd be really cool. It's really nice.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I only have one more question. What is next for you?
What's next for me? Actually, I have some news on the way. Hopefully soon. Hopefully coming up soon.
Wait, are we getting exclusive? We getting an exclusive?
Some news is on the way. This is the year I've had the privilege and the honor to write some songs, and just so some things are happening. So just be on the lookout.
Well, we're gonna look really, really hard, because if you can come back once everything goes what it's supposed to go, come back to TTNT. We would love to have you come on and let our Facebook family and yours know as well. I'm gonna turn it over to Titus Glenn.
Okay.
And keep in mind, if you need more music in the heart, it's at your service.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But thank you for coming on the show today. We're going to get into a different segment of the show today, so we would love for you to stay around. We're going to dive into a special segment called Letters to Madam. And so we've been on this quest to get letters from our viewers and people that we know that will send in letters that we can discuss, or that Madam Secretary can discuss. and give valuable information. So we're gonna let her. Excuse y'all. I think I need some water. Hold on, real quick. It must be. I don't. I didn't have no dairy. I don't know what that is. Okay, so
You're allergic to us today.
that is
To
possible.
great.
It's
He's
possible.
allergic to unsuccessful people. It's okay. Not us. Not us. Just he never
Okay.
thought about somebody or something.
So, with that being said, we're gonna turn this segment over back to Madam Secretary. She's gonna read the letter, and this is where you contribute, Mr.
Mhm.
Daniel. Like we're gonna have a conversation. So, she's gonna read the letter, and we're all gonna give our input on what we think should happen, and
Yeah.
then Madam Secretary is gonna close us out with her valuable information, advice.
Okay. Now, Trey, listen, this is a little bit of tea. So if you are on your way out, then that's okay. But if you want to stick around for it, then we will allow you to stick around for it as well. Because it's tea, honey. It's real tea.
I'm
So,
here. I'm here.
okay, cool. So this is letters to Madam. And on this segment, I will read a letter written from an audience member to me. And Joe, shh. So sorry. I have kids for real. Shh. All right. So I'm going to read the letter and then we'll get right into it. All right. So the beginning of it is, Dear Madam, I am dating this guy. I cook, I clean, I make his plate when he wants it. Am I setting myself up for disappointment later in life? Will I be expected to keep this up? I'd like to be the one getting served and waited on. I thought relationships are 50-50. So, did everybody, let me just let y'all get that in. Let that soak in a little bit. All right. So, let's go through it. I want to go through it with you guys. So, for the first thing that I want to dive into, the first part of the letter says, I cook, I clean, I make his plate when he wants it. Am I setting myself up for disappointment later? That's the first part we want to get into. So, Trey, what you think? Trey, what you think about that first part?
She cooking, she clean. I mean, I just, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think she's setting herself up for failure. I guess it's just whatever's being communicated to why she's cooking and she's cleaning and why she's doing all this stuff, So I don't know. Maybe there's an end goal that she's trying to get to. I don't know. Who knows? Or what she's been told. I don't know.
Okay. Titus Glenn, what do you think about that?
She's only setting herself up for failure if she has not communicated her expectations. So if she's doing it because she likes to do it, that's one thing. But then she also needs to have a conversation with her dude to say, "Hey, I love doing this for you, but I wouldn't mind if you either picked up the slack some days, or because he'll never know what she's thinking if she never says anything."
Okay.
So I think that would be my 2 cents. Like, always communicate in your relationships, because at the end of the day, you can give out so much, but if you don't set the expectation of what your love language is or what you're requiring, or if you don't really set that, I don't want to call it a boundary, but if you don't leave it open to say, hey,
Communication standard, yeah.
yeah, you create a standard in your relationship that say, hey, babe, I'm doing this for you, but I would appreciate, or what will make me smile even the more is when you do this, or I like it when you do these things. I don't have to do all the time. Because her thing she might actually be acts of service, which is why she's giving so much, because most of the time we're only giving based on the way that we like to receive. And I land my chariot of horses.
All right, Mr. Carhide, what do you think about that first beginning of that letter?
I don't think you're setting yourself up for failure. Piggybacking on what everybody else has said, communication is definitely key. And what you go in doing, you definitely have to keep up, because not necessarily men versus women, but each other. Whatever you start with the men, whatever you start with the woman, you definitely have to keep up, because that's something that we're expecting to see throughout the relationship. Also, too, I don't think. I think having a servant's heart when you have a servant's heart, you're not necessarily keen on receiving. So if you're doing out of the kindness of your heart, you're not seeing that negative, aspect of that relationship when you're coming in like that. Depending on the nature of the relationship, how you start is how you finish.
All right. So I'm gonna come from a different. I love everything that you guys said, but when I looked at that and I heard that, I was really listening to maybe, and I just pictured it as a girlfriend that was ready for maybe marriage, and saying, "Am I setting myself up for disappointment because I really want this?" And so I'm thinking, you may think, as a girlfriend, oh, I'm doing all these things, the only disappointment that you'll have is if you never get the ring. And that still talks about your standard and your expectations. Are you setting yourself up for failure by giving him these things that you want to give to your husband, giving it to him instead of holding back, and you know what I'm saying? And then just kind of waiting it out. But we know within the scripture, it says, he who find a wife find a good thing. And I believe deeply that you're a wife way before he finds you. You're already cooking, you're already cleaning, you're already very patient. When you think about love is patient, love is kind, long as love. So those things happen before you're introduced to anybody. You should love yourself. You should be patient with yourself. You should be kind to yourself. And then you know how to transfer that over. And so with the cooking and cleaning, that you should do for you. That's something that you're not setting anybody up, in my opinion, for disappointment later, unless you have ulterior motives, unless you're doing it just to get something in return. Like you said, oh, I'd like to be the one getting served and waited on. So if that's your ulterior motive, then no, don't do it. Don't do it because you want him to do it. You need to let him know, like, hey, hey, babe, I would really like it if you cook for me. You need to be very communicative with that and communicate what your needs and wants are, especially if you know them. That's the key in, I think, relationship, is when you know what you like, you're able to communicate that. If you don't communicate that, it's unfair to hold someone accountable. And that's what I'll say to the beginning of that letter. Moving on to the end of the letter, where you said, I thought relationships are 50-50. And anybody jump in and say, I'll say my piece on 50-50. Or maybe I'll say my piece now. 50-50 relationships to me are not healthy relationships, because I think 50% of it, you're waiting for them to do their 50 part, and then you'll do your 50. I believe relationships should be 100. You should do everything that you want, that you have it within your, bunker box or bunker bag, your tools. You should be using those things 100% of the time. And if you're not using those different things, then going left is probably common within your relationship. And so for me, 50-50 is almost a setup to me and what I think a relationship should be. So that's my take. Takara, we'll let you go, and then we'll let Trey and then Titus.
Can you read the last part once again, please?
Yes. She said, I thought relationships are 50-50.
I really don't believe in the 50-50 method. I understand what the 50-50 means. It means, like, trying to get to 100. Your goal is trying to get to 100. When I look at 50-50, I replace that number with, my goal is staying married. My goal is, how do I live this walk with you? My goal is waking up every day trying to figure out, do I love this person? And I'm not talking about my spouse, I'm talking about me. Do I love this person enough to stay in this marriage? Do I need to work on me today? Is there the time to say, hey, again, that's coming back to that communication. And when you divide that 50-50, that 50-50 is 25. 25% is you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So I kind of get what you're saying, that it is a kind of a setup, but when you're married and you in it and you look at it, you say, okay, I have to replace the number with what my goals are. And so if my goal is staying married, then my goals have to necessarily reflect who I am on the inside. in order to be the best spouse that I can possibly be to make 100. That's it.
I would have to agree. I definitely have to agree. Going back to what Titus said earlier, like, what are the expectations? Like, what's the reason? It's kind of what everybody was saying. Like, are you doing this because like you want to do this out the kindness of your heart? Is that who you are? Are you expecting something on the the result of this? And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up in the 50-50. The 50-50. I really don't like the 50-50 thing, because it's just like, how about we just do this to just stay where we are and try to better ourselves? Like, how about, everybody wants to meet a goal, but people don't know, just because you meet a goal, some goals you meet them and then you can still fall back into what you were doing before. You're just trying to achieve something. So I really, I would have to agree with what Takara was saying. So, yeah.
Okay. Titus?
I would have to say that when it comes to the 50-50 rule, I think it's really a matter of defining the roles in your relationship. And then you give those roles 100%, whatever you committed to. And so I feel like a lot of times people don't really define those roles and what that's supposed to be. So you have people that, again, going back to the expectations, well, I don't know what I'm doing in this relationship. And so I'm stepping in your lane, then you stepping in mine. And so we really not appreciating what each other is doing in their role, which is how we get this 50-50, right? Because some days, if you were to even equate that 50, sometimes you have to do an 80-20 if you were doing the 100%, right? And so for me, it's really a matter of having, again, the discussion. What do you bring to this relationship? What do I expect you to bring? What can I bring? Can I tolerate what you're asking of me? Or can I, can I tolerate what you're asking from me? And can I live up to the expectation on a continuous basis? Because if not, then I might be setting up myself for failure. So again, define the roles and do those roles 100%.
Got you. And so then I'll just chime in on my last thought. When you're in a relationship, and the 50-50 is actually not a horrible thing. The 50-50 that most couples generalize that with is the compromise between one and another, saying, hey, meet me halfway. Again, knowing that you're going into a relationship, only asking them to meet you halfway means that the other half is the leaning, that's the time that you kind of give them the grace. And that's the time that they don't feel up to it. That may be the time where you have to be the strength in a relationship, or the prayer warrior, or the standard. So I get the 50-50. I understand why it's there and what couples mean by saying 50-50 and the compromise. Meet me halfway. But again, I want you to understand that when you only ask someone to meet you halfway, there's another half that, and that's when you get to a place of, do I stay because I'm not getting all of what I want? Am I settling because I'm only getting 50 and that's all I asked for? So do I say, you know what, that's all I asked for, so I might as well stick around because at least I got that much? Or do you leave because you understand that I didn't expect to only get just a little bit. I thought me giving a clue of what I want or an inkling of what I want was the best thing, and that person knowing me enough would figure out the rest of the way. So really understanding that 50-50 relationship, most relationships are 50-50 in the compromise. But do you want to compromise? Do you want to have the standard? It's okay to lean over and say, hey, you know what? I had rice today and you wanted to eat barbecue. Let's get barbecue. That's different. But would you really compromise on something that you have to live with lifelong? Those things become red flags, those compromises of your deal breakers. So you have to make sure that when you put your standards up, they're not your deal breakers, right? Because your deal breakers, when you continue to move forward in knowing that this is a deal breaker, but it doesn't bother me that much, it starts to create itself into a monster. And then one day it becomes a red flag. And that's the one thing that you say, I can't stay because you just won't, blah, 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 blah. Do you understand? But you came into it with the idea of, this is what I want, and this is something I want, but it may be too much. So you definitely need to know yourself before getting into a relationship. and really understand what you're saying when you say 50-50. Are you saying, hey, I'll meet you halfway? But guess what? Halfway sometimes just don't get it, right? So that's my take on letters to Madam. I'm going to pass it over and see if anybody else has anything to say. That was my final thought. And thank you guys for writing in.
I have one more thing to tag on to that. Please, 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 don't be afraid to talk about this stuff on first dates. Talk about these things, ask these type of questions when you're dating, when you're courting, because you don't want to get into a relationship with somebody and find out on the other end, that this is not something that you can deal with. If you're in a relationship and you like, okay, this is something I can't deal with, then I'm not saying get out of the relationship, but please bring it to the table so the other person can figure out if they want to fix it and move forward with you, or if you both want to just kind of end it and be cool, but at least give yourself a chance to have a good start in a relationship. So talk about it in the beginning.
Cool. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add? Daniel, Mr. Daniel, Travion, you good?
I did have a question for the group.
Oh, good.
I want to know, have you guys ever been in a relationship where it was a 50-50 relationship, or that maybe you knew your love language or you were acting out your love language and you kind of realized after that you were acting out your love language and you wanted them to do what you were giving? Have you guys ever been in a relationship like that?
I felt I have like I've done that to where I was like over. I think we can be like, some people can be over giving. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I was the type of over giver. I just do things just like, just send you this or just take you out here. I just did stuff just off the whim. And then one day I was just like, hey, but I'm getting nothing out of this. Now I thought that, and it was a twofold thing of that I felt bad that I was doing it. But then on the other hand, I was like, well, I set myself up for it, because I was just like, well, I just, and I couldn't get mad at my person, because I'm just like, I was the one who made those decisions. But I'm kind of,
Did you feel like you had to stick with it because you made it? Like, I made this decision, and that, that voice inside your head that said, wait, I'm not getting anything out of it, because was that something that kind of rung a bell with you? Why did that ring a bell, that you were getting nothing out of it?
It rang a bell for me because I saw the person I was with starting to lose interest, but gaining interest in the reward of that I was doing everything. So they're losing interest in me, but they're gaining more interest in what I'm going to do. I don't like him that much, but I know he's about to buy me something.
Oh, wow.
So let me just stick around. So those things, and I'm a very observant person, to where I just pick up on things. And I just saw that, and I was like, wow. And so it made me rethink how I was doing things. And the less I started to do, then the interest of both things started to lose on her behalf. So
wow. What's crazy? I know I'll speak for me as a woman. There's times in a relationship where there's I guess people will say, oh, you want more. No, I just want what you've always done, right? And not saying as far as giving or anything like that. It could be, and like I said, I'm with this particular piece of project Letters to Matter, I'm gonna be very transparent to a place. Wait, let me let y'all in. I'm not going to tell y'all my business, but I'm gonna be very transparent to a point. There's a level of wanting to get out of a relationship what you give in a relationship, right? There's a level of wanting a return, right? But I believe going into a relationship knowing that person is supposed to take care of you, learn you, they ask you your favorite color, and then it's time to get you a purse and they got the wrong color. You're gonna be like, were you listening? Were you paying attention to me? But I think it should be a two-way street. And so I think going into a relationship where the street is two-way. Now, if you've done pull out the door, you pay for the dinner and the movie, whatever. And then for me, I'm very listening. I'm consistent in, caring for you. I'm nurturing, things like that. well, we may be missing each other on some things, because for me, it may be that I'm giving to you in the way that I know how, and you're giving to me in the way that you know how, but you're not depositing into my love bank and I'm not depositing into your love bank, because we didn't communicate that this is what I need in order to feel loved. Right. And so, Trey, what I hear you saying right now is you may be gifts of love type person, where you want somebody to buy you some cologne, or you know what I'm saying, they smell on you and be like, I know what you wear, and do those things for you. Is that what I hear you saying?
I mean, a bit of kind of, just kind of a little bit, but I mean, it would be nice sometimes.
There's
but
nothing
not,
wrong with that.
Not fully. But not. I wouldn't say like fully on that. If I mean,
But if somebody really knew you, right? They knew what you like. They saw the brand of clothes you wear. They know you like polo. If they brought you some Adidas, you're gonna be like, who put that on? You know what I'm saying? So you want a level of observant even for you. And just what you just did is what a lot of us do. You just said, oh, well, not. Yes, you have to be bold enough to say, yes, this is what I want. And this is not a compromise. This is a hard boundary. Like, I need to be loved in this way. But a lot of times at the beginning, we love people. We're infatuated with how they look, dress, whatever, that we lay those things down and act like they don't really matter as much, like, oh, it'd be nice if you really pick me up and take me to dinner. But then you don't want to ask for dinner. Like, oh, baby, can we go to dinner? You won't be the one to ask for the date. You know what I mean? So I'll drop that palette. Go ahead, Titus and Takara. You guys had anything?
Mine was twofold. I had a relationship that I was into the guy, and I didn't look at the qualities. He was wealthy too. He was wealthy, but I didn't look at his character until I was in it, and I was like, oh, is this somebody? And he asked me to marry him, and I was like, is this somebody I want to marry? Like, he was in church and everything, and I'm like, but his character stink. Like, when I say his character stink, if you saw a homeless person in the street, he wouldn't give the homeless person $1. He would walk right past the homeless person and be like, I know they see these gas stations and and all that, and I'm like, is that really somebody that I want to give myself to? Then on the flip side, I had somebody that I was always available for, but he wasn't available to me. And I had to deal with that. Like, do I want to be available? Do I want to always be on his time and he's never on my time? Is that something I want to be willing to do? So for me, it's all about you being into me, all the way into me. So that was something that I was like, I'm not settling for. If you're not totally into me and your whole world don't revolve about Zacchaeus, we can't get down like that. I'm sorry. So to say the least, I want to be all about him as well. But I wanted the same thing, kind of like what Trevon was saying. Like, I'm giving all this time to you, but you're not giving me anything. And so I had to figure out if I wanted to stay there, if I wanted to be that chick to give, be available, but you missed my birthday. Am I gonna deal with that?
I'm still mad.
I'm still stuck on that. I am because I feel like my birthday 82. They did a pretty good job. So I'm just saying.
No, I totally get it. And like I said, with these letters, I mean, these letters are here to kind of break down. I hope I answered the letter in entirety, because truly I believe you get out of everything what you're willing to put into it. But the biggest thing in all of that is don't set yourself up for failure by not voicing your standard, allowing your boundaries to be red flags. And if there are a red flag and you made it seem like it was a boundaries, some people will say, are meant to be crossed. People will cross it, but if it's a red flag, that's when you have a detour, and sometimes you don't get to come back from that. So just make sure that your boundaries are not your red flags. Your standards are communicated up front. That is your letter to Madam, and I am out of here. Thank you guys guys so much. Thank you, Trey, for coming in and joining in. We love that you were part of that letter. Titus and Takara, thank you for your information. And I'll send it back over to Titus for our exit.
All right, y'all. You know how we get down. We're getting ready to end the show. Before we end the show, Travion, if you just give us your information on how to contact you, if people want to book you, if you have music out where they can go to listen, etc.
Okay. My Instagram is Just Trey, so JUSTRE Daniel, Just Trey Daniel. That's my Instagram. My Facebook is TREY Trey Daniel. It's pretty much the same for everything. My email is TreyDanielMusic@gmail.com. And yeah, and that's me. Thank y'all so much for having me again.
That's what's up. Now, guys, you know what we do, what we say. If you need your hair done, your eyelashes done, you need your fit put together, you need photography, get with your girl, Madam Secretary. She will hook you up and bless your life. If you need somebody to sing at your wedding, you need some administration help, get with your girl, Miss Winking Owl Productions herself, Takara Hyde. And if you need you a dope song, you need you some music production, if you just need a listening ear, get with your boy Titus Glenn, and we're gonna be here to assist you in all your needs. So listen, we have enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Titus Glenn. If you haven't done so, subscribe to this page, Titus Glenn. Be on the lookout for great things ahead for TTNT. You
And
guys,
if you have not downloaded the new single,
absolutely,
yes, New Beginnings, go to www.titusglenn.com and download the single. It's $1.99, y'all. Go get that. I promise it'll bless your life.
absolutely. All right, y'all, we out. And you know what? Lyrics matter. Cop that while you at www.titusglenn.com. All right, y'all, take care, and
All
we
right.
out.